Going back to last weekend, looking at the stats from that game, and I said to Rhiannon earlier on, if you didn't know the score, you'd think you won that game 6-0. So that must be incredibly frustrating.
It is really frustrating. And sometimes you've got to rip the stats up and actually just go what your kind of eyes are telling you. But yeah, you're right, the stats were good. I think we had 19 shots at goal. The field tilt was unbelievable, 71% in their final third. XG was the highest it's ever been in the league so far. We kind of shown that we're doing the right things, but that last 5 minutes of the game was unacceptable. We shouldn't have to fight so hard and work so hard to get ourselves in a really good position on 80 minutes to then collapse in 5 minutes of madness. And we're kicking ourselves for it. We have to manage their moments better. Players have to manage those moments better when they're feeling that Portsmouth are doing Portsmouth things. They're putting you under pressure. They're going to play long balls in behind you. They were desperate. There was 5 minutes left, and ultimately we folded. And that can't happen.
Are you concerned in one sense about the clinicality, if you like, because you've mentioned it previously the last few weeks about creating chances, but just not being clinical, and that game would seem to illustrate that. That's probably the best example of that.
I mean, we've scored 2 goals against Bristol and lost the game. We scored 2 goals against Portsmouth and lost the game. How many goals do you actually need to score to win a game? Do we have to try and really outscore the opponent? We have to be more savvy with these moments that we seem to be wobbling in. We had a wobble against Bristol in that first half where we've conceded 3 quick goals, and we've had a wobble in the final moments against Portsmouth. And we've had some good conversation this week, and you know, they're a really open group. They're open to critique themselves and hold themselves accountable as well. But we have to find moments where it gets tough, where we have to manage that game better so we don't have them moments where we wobble and concede, and have strategies in place for when maybe we do concede, that we steady the ship a little bit, and we know then how to play.
I mean, the nature of the division is that, as Portsmouth have proved, everybody on their day can beat everybody, and you've not slipped out of promotion. Sort of that you're very much in touch with those places, but there is a danger of it slipping through your fingers. I suppose you just got to get back on the horse now. Haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. We can't sit here feeling sorry for ourselves. It's, you know, we have to control what we can control, and in them 2 defeats, there was moments where we can control the game better, and we have to learn from those moments. We can't keep making the same mistakes. Look, there was some technical errors at the weekend, which don't help in those moments. We have to make better decisions, depending on where we are on the pitch. But you know, we've come together this week as a group. We've made a real focus on reconnecting the group stronger, you know, especially going into this fixture at the weekend.
Does it surprise you, because there's a lot of experience in the team? I know there's a lot of youth, but there's a lot of experience in the team as well.
There is a lot of experience, and it is a new team. So you know, there might still be a lot of work to do in terms of, you know, galvanising the leaders within the group and making sure there's more of a louder voice in the moments where players are maybe lacking confidence because there's been a mistake. There's a lot of different ways that we can maybe try and control the game better, and we'll be trying to do that on Sunday.
The fixture list is what it is. Is a derby game the best game for you to have on the back of the last couple of weeks?
I'm hoping it is. What a fixture to go and put it right. We can't forget that we got beat twice off them last season as well. We have to remember that, and I think there's a lot of good things that we've been doing, and I don't think we can forget about that. You know, we've showed some really good moments in our game that we can score goals, we can be a threat. We have got a really talented group, and we have to go and showcase that on Sunday.
How much do you use it being Newcastle as a motivation, rather than, it's that old adage, don't lose sight of don't play the occasion, play the game? And that's important, isn't it? I
think it's a bit of both. Like, yes, it's a local derby, but also like we are really hurting from the last 2 league games as well. So there's almost double reason why we have to go there and get a result. We're piling pressure on ourselves by not picking up results. So we have to come together and make sure we get something on Sunday to kickstart. They're going into the other 2 league games before Christmas.
Because you spoke a few weeks ago about this run of games. It's an important run of games up to Christmas. It's also important because this season there's an opportunity for 3 teams to go up, and it's one you just don't want to let escape you.
Yeah, we have to, like you say, we have to stay in contention. We can't let the gap, it's not too big at the moment, but if we don't start picking up results along the way, that gap will get bigger. And we are ambitious, the squad's ambitious, the players we've recruited are ambitious, and ultimately we can't do it as individuals. We have to come together as a team and put this right.
Finally for me, is it, I mean, you won't know until Sunday, but is it a good time to play Newcastle because of the transition they're in at the minute?
Potentially, I think they've had a bit of a bounce, to be honest, the 2 games that they've had with kind of the new interim management team that they've got there. But again, they've got some obviously good players who we need to be aware of. They've picked up a decent result against Ipswich, and they've obviously got a point at Newcastle against Durham. But we have to make it all about us. We have to really focus on and have real clarity on what we're doing in certain moments of the game, whether we're winning, whether we're drawing, whether we're losing, and make sure that the players can carry out this game plan.
Hello. Sorry, no. You mentioned that last year's results are playing on your mind as well. How much can you build on the need for writing those kind of matches, maybe just a revenge kind of narrative to Spurs on Sunday?
I think, we're hurting off the 2 defeats. It's a local derby. We have to show everyone what a Sunderland team's about, and that's fight, heart and desire, that we're running hard for each other, that we're coming together when we're showing the fans who are travelling to St James's Park that we mean business. We're there to go and get points. We're hungry for that, and we're ready to put things right. That's what we want people to see.
You mentioned that your opponents have like a new interim team in charge. Is there kind of a difficulty preparing for a team where you're not too sure about tactically what they might be doing, whereas last season you came up against Becky Langley twice and before that as well?
Yeah, I think there's clear comparisons in terms of when Becky was in charge to when the new interim staff are in charge. I think we can see that within the 2 games that they've had. They're doing a few things differently, which I'm not going to broadcast because that might change again. But we've got good staff working hard behind the scenes to identify weaknesses of the opponent and how we can hurt them, and we've been doing that all week.
In terms of your preparation for a game of this magnitude in this kind of arena, will you be doing anything differently in terms of preparation compared to what you've done last season?
No, we prepare the players the same way. It's not kind of high science in terms of what we do. We do all our kind of player meetings, all the preparation, all the training sessions. We've had a bit of a team build last night. We went to the Ramside and did some golf and some bowling to get the team together to connect them again. So they're in good spirits.
And you kind of touched upon it in an answer to Nick, but could this maybe kind of game at this time be a catalyst for your season to come? And how much of a must-win kind of scenario does it feel like?
I think you've got to be careful about how much pressure you put on a game, because when you big it up too much, that can have a negative effect on some players who might not be able to cope with pressure as much. I think the pressure that is on the game is the pressure that we're putting on ourselves to be better, because we've been massively disappointed with the outcome of the last 2 games. And like I said previously, it's in our hands. We can control what we need to do on Sunday. So, we need to leave that ground on Sunday happy with our performance and happy with points that we're taking home. Thanks.
Mel, when you've got a team where you've got players like Emily Scarr who are scoring goals, getting assists, performing really well, but then they have to go back into the changing rooms and they come away with either 1 point or no points at all. How do you manage that when a player like Emily probably feels like she's doing everything that she can do, and yet the team is struggling to come away with points?
Yeah, it's a team sport, isn't it? Every player's got to contribute. When we've got the ball and when we haven't got the ball, there's players who've made it possible for Emily to score them goals. But likewise, everyone's got a responsibility when we haven't got the ball to do their job as well. So we take the individual accolades, of course you do when you score, but ultimately it's a team game, and we always have to put the team first.
And do you ever get to the point where, because you're focusing on maybe other sides of the team because you're conceding more, do do you stop focusing on, supporting Emily and go, well, Emily's doing, what Emily needs to do, we need to focus more on our defensive issues, or is it a case of always going into every single game, focusing on every single player?
I think you've got to get the balance right during the week. Yes, obviously there's areas that we needed to be better at on Sunday, and they've been addressed this week in the sessions. But I think you overall, as an overview of the week, you have a balance of you're in possession, out of possession. You keep doing and trying to improve on your super strengths and what they're the moments that can hurt the opposition. But on the flip side, we also have to make sure we're tighter and a more compact and can defend longer balls at the back, because we can't keep conceding goals like we did.
And just one final question: you're playing at St James's Park. You've played so many games at Stadium of Light. How helpful is that going to be, the fact that you played in such a big stadium for so long, and now you're going to another big stadium to play in such an important derby?
Yeah, I think the size of the ground doesn't affect us now. We've played a lot of our away games in big stadiums, Bramall Lane, St Andrews, previous seasons as well. So I think that's just part and parcel of where the women's game's going.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, the most pressing question is why have you got the nickname that you've got? Mel always refers to you, and everyone refers to you as Razza, and we're just mystified as to how that came about.
I think I was in under 12s at Burnley FC when I was younger. It's like my first girls team that I was a part of, and one of the girls said, Rhiannon is too long to say on the pitch, so they tried a few different versions, and then Razza, and I was like, oh yeah, I quite like that. So yeah, I got christened it at under 12s, and then yeah, just stuck. My mum always says I give you a lovely Welsh name and you call yourself Razza, but yeah.
Excellent. I did wonder. So how have you found it here? I mean, we spoke to you when you arrived, sort of 3-4 months in now.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The girls are great. The same messages as before, really. We're a tight-knit group, and we're working hard on and off the pitch. Did a good team bonding session last night as well, and went out, had a bit of fun. So yeah, the vibes are good this week. Everyone's excited for a derby game. Who wouldn't be? So obviously we've had a couple of disappointing results recently for our standards that we set for ourselves and as a team. So it's just putting the wrongs right, and yeah, what a better way to do it than a big derby this weekend.
Has there been a fair amount of introspection over the last couple of weeks? Because the stats for those games are actually very good, and especially last weekend, it's almost, when you look at that in isolation and you don't know the score, you'd assume that Sunderland probably won it 6-0.
Yeah, that's the thing, and the only score that everyone looks at is the end result, really. That's the only stat that matters at the end of the day, whether you got 3 points or not. But yeah, we go through all the analysis obviously at the start of the week, and we're looking at our stats and we're looking at our chances and everything like that, and it's fine margins, that's all it is. And we're producing really good chances on the pitch, we're dominating games, we're controlling games, so it's disappointing not to come out with something. But I'd be more disappointed if we weren't doing that, if we weren't controlling games and we weren't getting chances. So I think that's the main thing to look at here, and just turning them chances into goals.
The division's still tight, so it's not as though anybody's running away with it in a minute. So you're still in that race. But I know they say derby games, that in isolation they're games that form goes out the window, so on and so on. But ultimately for you, and I suspect for Mel as well, the most important thing is to get the 3 points to make sure you maintain that push for one of those promotion spots. Yeah,
and we spoke as a group, and when we lost our very first game, we were like, girls, honestly, everybody's going to take points off anybody in this league. It's really competitive. It's a really tight league now, which is great. That's what you want to be a part of. So it's more about consistency more than anything to keep yourself up there. And yeah, our main thing is 3 points, and I don't care how we get it at the weekend. The main thing is that we come out with something from the game. And I'm just looking forward to being part of that, really.
And are you all very conscious that this is a big opportunity this season to get promotion, the way that they've configured the league?
Yeah, of course, there's no hiding from that. You get 3 spots where you can compete for, and obviously the third one goes into a playoff, but still it's a third place spot that you can compete for. And yeah, it's still in our reach. It's nowhere near gone from us. And it's just a bit of consistency. We just need to turn that momentum round, and I'm pretty sure that we will, yeah.
And in terms of playing at St James's, 15,000 plus crowds, that is something to look forward to as well, isn't it? And the atmosphere there is going to be good.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what you want to play in. You want to play in big games like that. And the girls, you know, the players that have been involved in the game last year as well, you know, they've got experience of it already, which is always positive for us to have. And then we've got other players that have come in who've played in front of big crowds. So we've got that experience behind us. I don't think that's going to be a problem. If anything, I think it's just going to give us a little bit more of a boost. So, yeah, it's something exciting, really, really to look forward to.
I mean, you talk about experiences. That put a lot of pressure on your shoulders, because there are some very young girls in this team who those sort of occasions could get to them.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that we all kind of thrive in those moments. And like I said, players have already got these experiences, whether it's from last year against Newcastle, or whether it's from, you know, we've got international players, whether it's from the international experience or other clubs that they've been at. So I know that the majority of this team have played in front of big crowds, so I'm hoping that experience does get us through.
And I'm assuming, have you played there before?
No.
So it's the first year?
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
Hi, you okay?
Adam from BBC Sport. You mentioned last season's result, and it was a late loss at St James's Park. What's the chat been like around Brighton, that kind of role?
I don't think we're really looking at last season, to be honest. It's a brand new campaign for us, you know, it's a different set of girls, and we kind of want to put that to bed, and we've got a new campaign to focus on. So we're just focusing on game by game and what we can do in each game, really.
And you mentioned that it can go either way for you in terms of you're still within reach of promotion, but you are quite close to relegation as well. How much of a must-win is this game given the time of season and the direction you can go?
Yeah, you look at the table and you get 3 points and it boosts you right up, and yeah, it's a really, really tight league. But I don't think relegation is a word that we need to kind of like look at or say, because I really do believe that we should be pushing that top half of the league, to be honest. It's just a bit about momentum, and like I said, turning them chances into wins, and we are dominating games, we are controlling games really well, we're creating chances. It's just turning that into our favour a little bit more, and you know, and then just the basics of our like defensive side too. So we're getting there. We've had good conversations this week in training. You know, we've come in at the start of the week and we've put to bed the Portsmouth game. We're not even allowed to say Portsmouth, so I'd probably get a fine for that. But we put that to bed, and yeah, we just continue striving forward as a team, and yeah, doing what we can on and off the pitch, really.
Just fun, you mentioned to Nick about experience needed at this level, this kind of game. When it comes to the big stadium game, where's it won and lost? How do you come into it? Is it like a nervous thing? Is it like, oh man, this is so exciting? What's the energy like that needs to be there to win this kind of game?
I think we're all really excited to play on a really good pitch. I think we're excited to play on a big pitch. I think we're excited to have a roaring crowd. And yeah, I just think that we're just looking forward to the game, really. We're just looking forward to putting those wrongs right. And it's a derby game at the end of the day, so you've got to do the nitty-gritty stuff before anything else. You know, you've got to earn the right to play football. You know how derby games are like, they can be a little bit feisty, especially in the first 15, 20 minutes. And I want to be part of that, and the girls know that. They want to be a part of that derby fight. I think that's what we're about as Sunderland too. So.
Appreciate it, thank you.